You guys know about an information table right there? Talking about addressing state senators. We have a petition there to Kathleen Galjani and State Senator Denham. So we would appreciate it if you go ahead and read the literature on that, addressing the cuts. We're talking about making political change. Keith Law got into that. So that's something, if we want to make a change, there you go right there. You know, go ahead and read that and read the literature on it. Get it signed so we can go ahead and turn that into our state senators. Sorry if I'm a little nervous. I'm not too good with public speaking, but I'll try my best. So if you could bear with me, I appreciate that. Some of the information I'm going to share here with you guys today is a little bit about educational spending. We're seeing a lot of our educational spending in public education is being decreased. Just some facts that I was going to go over regarding the war. We see that the tax on and decreases in education is an attack on all. It's an attack on workers. It's an attack on students, immigrants, union workers. So it's not just limited to one sector. It involves many. And so we see that there's a broad movement taking place here in California, and it includes many. You know, we got student services that are being cut. We see how minorities are being affected, and so kind of looking at working class citizens are being attacked here. One other thing I wanted to mention is that we should think about, you know, the money that we spend on war. You know, if there's money for wars, banks, bailouts, and prisons, why is there more money for public education? And also, you know, we're out here to advance the struggle in defense of the public sector workers and services, and you know, we want to come out here and be an inspiration to all those fighting against the wars, for immigration rights, in defense of jobs, for single-payer health care, and other progressive causes, which I would say that this movement is tied to those causes as well. The university fee increases mean that thousands cannot continue their education, which is good business for Wall Street, but with the increase in electronic production, which no longer needs human labor, we're seeing that corporations are not interested in educating the population if it doesn't mean they're going to make any profit off of us. So that's something to think about, that, you know, we got these minimum wage jobs in towns, which is like Merced, which is a lot. And, you know, corporations are not interested in educating people unless they make profit. You know, and if they're not going to plan on giving us jobs after we're done with school, why would they be interested in educating us? That's something to think about. I'm a recent graduate from CSU Stanislaus, got my BA there, and I have a real hard time finding a job here in Merced. You know, that's not to say that there's no jobs available. I'm just having a really hard time finding jobs in what I went to school for. You know, I can find a minimum wage job, not that I won't take it, you know, I will, but I'm even having a hard time finding a minimum wage job. And I'm sure that's something that other students and recent graduates are facing. So, you know, when we look at school, we got to think that it comes with a price tag. You know, the way things are running right now with the prices we're seeing, it's like, well, if I want to get my BA in, you know, a certain subject, it's like with a price tag, like that's going to cost you $20,000. You know, that's the way I kind of look at it, and that's the way the picture is looking. And we're seeing how schools are being more and more corporate run. Policies being dictated by corporations. That's something we got to look at, the private interest. I mean, it's called public education, not private education, right?
Right.
Yeah. Also, we got to think that, looking at the war, that there's more than 58% of the budget goes for the military. That's 58 cents out of every dollar. I got some information over there about military spending. You know, instead of spending money on the military, on the aircraft and missiles, we could be spending that money on books and other education services within public education. Um, Also, more than 50% of the profitable corporations in the state pay no taxes at all. You know, we got these profitable corporations that are threatening to leave the state if they have to pay taxes. Well, I'll say, hey, leave the state. You know, we're creative human beings. We can come up with a solution as if we're dependent. You know, we're citizens. We can, you know, we can come up with solution. I mean, we're not that dumb, I don't think. And we've seen other communities do it before, where they tell the corporations, you know what, we don't need you here. You know, we can offer public services and work with the government. But even our government seems to be contracted out, and that's something, you know, we need to fight for. And tell our government to say, hey, you know what, you need to fund our public education, our public interest, not private interest. Also, something about the governor's recent efforts. There's a bill passed, I believe, was in January, where he passed his bill to supposedly stabilize education funding. But I don't think it's really stabilizing education funding, because it's cutting other needed services and privatizing prisons. Public schools, colleges, and universities have already had their budget cuts to the bone. So how is that stabilization? These are funds that provide the instructors to teach the classes students need to graduate and become productive. Instead, we have less classes, increased faculty to student ratio, and little educational services to support learning. One of the manifestations of the budget cuts this semester is that. So like I said, you guys should come to this table, get some information, sign the petition addressing our state senators about the cuts, fee increases, so we can go ahead and get that sent in and let them know that this community here at Merced College, that we say no to the cuts, no fee increases. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now this is the time where we're going to open it up to the audience. So if there's anyone, okay. Oh, right. Thanks. We'd also like to remind everyone, if you're interested in attending the March and March on the 22nd, the rally at Sacramento in the Capitol, please sign that paper if you're interested in carpooling there. So thank you. You're not obligated, but we'd really love you if you did. Both of us, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now we're going to open the mic to anyone from the audience who would like to speak about the situation with higher education, or talk about how the statewide economic crisis is affecting other services and programs. So if there's